So I am here today with my best friend. I feel quite emotional. Yeah, and I've had a story in my life that I've been too emotional and too much. And these days it actually feels really liberating. So thank you for being here with me today. I would love us to talk about how liberating it is to be able to ask for what we want and say no to what we don't want, and how difficult that still is because there's so many layers. And when we were together yesterday, you were talking about someone who just come into our community, who was intrigued and also found it liberating that actually this is what we practice and we're committed to it, and that it's such a journey.
Yes, thank you for having me here. And what you used to perceive as too muchness is my fondest quality of you.
Oh, thank you.
Because the way you let yourself be free gives me more and more permissions to let myself be free.
I really appreciate that. That makes me feel even more emotional. There's got to be a lot of emotions. And yeah. Thank you.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's such a shame how we've been shamed out of our emotions and the expression of them.
Yeah.
And then it blocks us from processing them, blocks us from allowing them to flow because they're energy, right? And then we make all these stories about what it means about us. So, right? So bring it.
Bring it. Thank you. Yeah, I've definitely had this story about being a crybaby. I remember one of the first calls I was on with one of my teachers. He asked me to, we were introducing ourselves, and I was the only one that was crying in the introduction. And I was making a story about that, and he said to me, can you stay after the call? I need to talk to you about something. And my story was, oh my God, he's going to say that I'm not qualified to do this work and blah, blah, blah. Obviously it was totally nothing. But it's really been a journey to really allow myself to do that, because also it can make people really uncomfortable.
Right, but that's the boundaries, right? When I can have ownership of my own space here and I get to have my state here, and then anybody else outside of my space, they're welcome to have their states, be it disappointment, be it anger, be it whatever it is. Adults can be disappointed, right?
Yeah.
But that's not how our experience often is in childhood, right? So then we learn that we need to manage other people's states, and I need to edit myself based on what others might need me to be or need me to not be, right? And that's the freedom, right? Is to learn to create the safety inside that I get to be what I am. And then people can have their opinions about it. They can have their feelings about it. And that's on them. That's theirs, not mine.
And that's the journey, right? That is the journey of being able to fully be ourselves and be clear about what we want, what we don't want, what we're okay with, what we're not okay with. And there's so many layers to that.
Totally. And first of all, for me anyways, the practice was, or the learning was to what do I want? I had no idea. I didn't know who I was. I had so many masks, and I was such a shapeshifter and like just so hypervigilant, and I was adjusting myself based on any environment that I was in. And I did that for a decade. So I had no idea who I was and what I wanted. And it's this returning to self and reclaiming that internal what's it, right? All of it, like, and it is a practice as much as we practice the other way for decades often, and we need to practice this one as well, and coming back and just learning to feel like how does it feel? How does a yes feel in my body? I had no idea.
No. And still, because I had an incident yesterday, and there could be a story around, I teach this stuff, I should know better. But for me, there's continuous learning all the time. So I had a friend of mine, and he was there with his son, and the vigilant part in me, who likes everything neat and tidy, and I know that she controls things as well, because it makes her feel safe. The vigilant part of me noticed that the son had sand on his legs. And I knew that he was wanting to go and lie in the bed and watch some TV. And then what happened was he went on the bed and watched TV, and I knew that there was going to be sand on the bed, and I don't like sand in the bed. But I didn't say anything. And so I was probably in some sort of freezy, fawny state that I wasn't really aware of, and also shaming myself for being too much. Right? It's too much, you know, it's that you are someone to do that. And then when they left, I removed the sand from the bed. And then I had a breathwork session where I really saw the truth of it, because I know this person so well, and I could easily have said to this boy, do you mind just brushing the sand off you before you go and lie in the bed? Or I could have said to his dad, do you mind? And I know I could have been, oh, I feel emotional again. But for me, there's something around, I think, men. There's still something around that. And I feel I released something in that breathwork session yesterday. But what then came through was this last relationship I had where he would have sand in the bed, and I didn't like sleeping with sand in the bed. And what I needed to say to him was, you sleep in your bed with sand, and if you come into my bed, you get the fucking sand off your feet. You know, so that was a boundary that I didn't dare set then. So there's so many layers to this, right?
That's it. That's the layers. And right, like, and often it seeps into not just into our words and our behaviors and the way we think, but deeper than that, into our identity. Oh, but I'm just a nice person.
Yeah.
I
Oh my
would
God.
never say that to anybody. Right? And it's not our truth. It's something that formed through us that I must not say, because I will be too much and I will be perceived that way. Right? So there's so many layers in that. And I love what you said to me once. A couple years ago, I don't know, I was overriding myself in a situation. I was super tired. I was coming back from this event and on the metro, and I couldn't wait to get on the metro and just put my headphones on and zone out. And then there was this person that I hardly knew, lovely woman at the metro station, and she came to say hi. And instead of saying, hi, how are you? I'm just going to go over here, which is what I needed.
Yeah.
I then chatted with her for the whole 20 minutes waiting for the metro and 40 minutes on the metro home, the whole time for an hour. And I had to sleep for 3 days after that because I was so overwhelmed. And I was so frustrated with myself because of it, because I was like, what's the matter with me? Like, what can I not say? Even that moment, I knew what I needed, but I just couldn't say it. And then I just kept overriding myself. And you said to me that, well, it's okay that it wasn't safe for you to say no. Right? And that just clicked it in my head. That it's okay that that part of me who needs to please and who needs to chit chat over there and put this mask on, that's what created safety for me. Right?
Yeah, it was more safe for you to go along with it than to be clear. Yeah, absolutely.
But it's painful when it's in that place of you're so aware of overriding yourself.
Yes.
Right?
And then you can shame yourself about it.
Yes, exactly. And that's what I was doing to myself. And that's when we shame ourselves and blame ourselves and judge ourselves. I don't know about you, but I'm harsh on myself. I used to be so harsh on myself. So the next time, there's not a loving present there who's telling that part that it's okay that it's not safe for you right now. I'm here. There's a judgy part who says, look, you're doing it again. So there's no change happening in that place because we're just in a conflict with ourselves.
Yeah.
Right? But recognizing that, you really helped me in that moment to bring the softness in.
Yeah.
It's okay that it's not safe for you, but I hear you.
Yeah.
I know you want to say no, but it's okay that it's not safe. And that's how we build the relationship with these parts.
Yeah.
Right?
Allowing them to be here.
Yes. Validate the experience. And it's okay that you don't know how right now. Let's figure this out together.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, when we are in those states, which will happen throughout life, you know, it does get easier. It does get easier, and it becomes more loving and compassionate, and having friends and community to explore it with is so important as well, isn't it?
Oh, totally. Because if I hadn't had you there or somebody there to tell me that, I would have just kept on that cycle of looping in the self-blame and self-hate, right? Like we need somebody sometimes from the outside to say, hey, what about this?
Yeah, we do. And that's why ChatGPT is pretty good as well. If we haven't got friends, we can call in ChatGPT and have a little chat. And actually he did this weekend, reaffirmed what I was feeling. I was like, that felt so good.
But also having communities and friends and colleagues who are on the same path and doing the same things and learn so much from you doing, you know, you getting things wrong.
Yeah, we
and
learn from each other.
processing
Yeah.
through it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's not about getting it always right, right?
Well, it never was.
No.
But there's a lot
No.
of conditioning around that as well. Like, I should be getting it right. Or wrong is bad, right is good. There's so much conditioning.
Oh, do you want to tell me about that? Because you got that very strongly. That I should get it right.
I should get it right. Yeah, the perfectionist in me is right. Even the podcast dress, because I was here on Friday, did a podcast. I was saying to Lena, I can't wear the same dress again. People will be judging me. Yeah, what is it about getting it right? I realize that I can only be me. I do realize that. And that I can only be me in this moment. And that is right? But there's still this part that believes that I need to be something else. Or is it? Yeah, it's still there to some extent, obviously. That I need to be something else to be loved and accepted and acknowledged. Yeah. But I also know I can only be me.
Yeah, you know that, but the part
doesn't know that. The part means like that I should know certain things. I should have this knowledge, or I should look like this, or I should be like that.
And she holds very high standards.
Yeah,
right?
she does. Yeah.
Very, very high.
Yeah.
Like going to kickboxing for the first time and needing to
do
it
best.
right.
I was pretty good though.
You were.
And a good teacher. But yeah. And then she looks for excuses. It's like, oh, well, if you're not good, obviously you're going to be quite old compared to most of the people. So that's an excuse to not be good.
Yeah, she needs to justify herself of not being perfect.
Yeah, she does. Yeah.
That's hard, right? Like if there's such a high standard that you must be all the time, and if you're not, you must have a reason or you failed.
Yeah. It is hard. It is hard because then she's always controlling. And in the past, she controlled a lot. She did. She was the one that kept me keeping fit for years and years and years. You got to keep fit. You got to look good. And then, there was another part of me that was like, stop. Stop. I don't want to do this anymore. You're just beating me up again and again and again. And then I haven't really done anything for 10 years, and which is why I want to do something that feels good. And actually kickboxing is amazing. It was quite emotional, and I noticed I nearly cried a few times, but I was okay because you were opposite me. If it had been someone else, I would have been worried that would have been a bit too much for them.
Safe people, right? And who knows, it maybe wouldn't even come out if you would have been with somebody else. You feel so safe with me, those parts feel safe with me, that it's okay for them to show.
Exactly.
I'm wondering what changed. You said that she used to be so harsh, so much there, and now she's a lot less.
There's some emotion here. I've changed towards her. Yeah.
What's your opinion about her today then?
She's still here, but she's not as scared as she used to be. I think that in the past the reality was so scary, and I'm teaching her that I've got her and it's not scary and it's not true.
What's not true?
It's not true that I need to be perfect to be loved, that I need to look in a certain way, that I need to be a certain age, that I need to tick this box, have that intelligence, that interest, or what. It's not true. I'm me, and it's okay to be me. So that part is growing more and more, and then that's giving room for her to still be here. Because I think for years I tried to push her away, right? How can I get you to go away?
Yeah. Right, and that's creates more of the inner conflict when one part of you knows this is my truth, I am acceptable with the way that I am, and the other one, her belief is the opposite. So then there's a conflict, because when she pops up, you're like, shut up. Like, no, you're wrong. Right? Because she is, because it's opposing opinions.
Yeah.
Right? But coming into, like you said, your opinion about her changed.
Yeah.
And that's what changes. That's the change that needs to happen, so that we can bring those parts into, start validating them, and start through that build the trust and relationship.
Yeah.
And then they can come into integration.
Yeah. And then, so what happened yesterday, to some extent, that part came up as well, right? It's like, I'm being too much if I ask him to do this.
Yeah.
But also, I was in a bit of a freezy state, so I didn't have the words to ask for it then, but I realized afterwards I could have, and next time I will.
Yeah.
So that's the whole learning process, because I really feel like the shaming ourselves it's really toxic for ourselves, isn't it?
Yes, that's where the change and the healing happens, right? Because we can't always do it in the moment.
No.
But then how you speak to yourself afterwards is where the relationship is built.
Yeah. And it takes time. It takes time. It's a journey, and I love the healing. I love the consent work that obviously you're part of and we share, which really helps that. It helps build the trust. And this is actually what started me on the consent journey, was I realized that I couldn't trust myself. I had incidents with my teachers, and I was raped. I was in a situation where I was raped, where I realized actually I couldn't trust myself when I was in those situations. It would have been easy to blame them to be wrong, and to some extent they were, if we were to. But in the reality was that I couldn't trust myself. And that's brought me on this whole consent journey of how can I trust myself? How can I help others trust themselves? And how can we share this together, right? So that's been a huge part of my journey. Breathwork is an amazing tool as well. Your offerings, it's not even Reiki that you do. What explain what you do. What do you do?
Well, I teach Reiki.
You teach Reiki, yeah, but it's not normal. It's power Reiki. It's next level Reiki.
A client of mine said, I don't know what you do, but it's not normal. It's not normal Reiki. It's like Reiki on steroids.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it feels like.
Why it is, because what Reiki is, it's a method to connect to source energy and channel that. And it has certain ways of doing it. And the attunements that we receive in each level, it recodes our energy system to access higher vibrational. It's like what would you call it? Like a highway to higher vibrations. It really levels you up very fast. And why my Reiki and the way I teach as well, or the way I hold space in the teachings, is because I've done the work.
Yeah.
Right? I've done so much healing and releasing and digging and being with myself. So there's a lot of space for the energy to move through. And also just naturally, I am a lot. Not too much.
No, you're not too much.
But I'm a lot. Right? My energy moves fast and it's big and it's large. Right? So naturally, I have a very, very large energy body, right? And then I have done this work of clearing and being able to come back into myself. And what I can do as a Reiki channel is I can be very, very present.
Yeah.
Because I have resolved a lot of my own shame, of my guilt, of my pain, of my terror. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of it still there.
Yeah.
But I've done a lot of it. And done a lot of it. I have released a lot of it. So that gives me is a ability to be very, very present no matter what happens, right? I can be there and I can continue. I can not allow it to lower my vibrations. And then I can expand to be this channel. And then the more levels of Reiki you do, the wider your channel gets. I've done... Because in our lineage, it takes a long time, and there's practitioner levels, there's teacher levels, and so on. So my channel is very, very, very wide because of all of those things. And then I have an extra sensory ability to feel and sense energy, right? For me, seeing the way you see me sitting here in my blue dress and my hair and my eyes, I see you in your red dress and your pretty hair and your lovely face. And then I can see the blueprint of your energy. I can see the way your energy moves. I can recognize which ones are mental energy, which are emotional, what are from the past, what's ancestral. I see it all, right?
I love that. You can go, there's something there. Ooh, there is.
Yes, it's very helpful at work, but it was very painful for decades for me because it's a lot of information as well. And I didn't used to have any boundaries, right?
So these are setting boundaries with yourself.
Yes.
Also,
yes.
Internal boundaries, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So now I can also turn it. I can see it all the time, but I have now, after doing this professionally for 15 years, I have an ability to just sort of, not right now, I can just see your body and a little bit of, but if I tune in to your energy, it's almost like the physical expression of you fades, and I can tune into the energy one, so I can choose which one kind of happens. So that helps a lot in the way that I play with energy, because it is a physical experience for me. And then I channel the energy into that person, and then I just dance with the energy because it's just there, and it's like surfing on waves. So,
and it's really felt, I've been Reiki attuned before, but when I came to you, it was just like next level. My life blew up, literally. It's your sessions are so powerful, so beautiful. And I love how you actually, how we're, because we're talking about boundaries with other people, but setting these boundaries with ourselves, these internal boundaries with ourselves, are so important as well. And you talked recently about gluten and how it actually doesn't work for you, but now you're allowing yourself pizza. Is it once a month? And cake once a week?
Once a month. Once a month there's a pizza day, and once a month there's a cake day.
So really celebrating and enjoying it, but not having it regularly, because it's not good for your system. Because I think so many of us feed ourselves, whether it's physically, emotionally, energetically, with stories, beliefs, foods that aren't good for us. So being able to set healthy boundaries with ourselves is so important as well, right?
Oh, absolutely. All boundaries work in all directions. And it's the boundaries with self are, to me, the most important ones, right? Boundaries on, like what you mentioned, the behaviors and habits and all of these, but also boundaries in, like, what do I do? Where do I spend my time in and with, and right? Because it's so, having such a fast moving energy, I really have to manage my energy very well. And I used to go from masking, right, to energy management, right? Instead of masking and pretending that I'm okay when I'm not, or I need to be this person for that person, and I can't show that side of myself, and it's hiding parts of me. But now it's about energy management, right? Like sometimes my energy is too much. If I would let all my energy flow, all this equipment would just fall, right? Like we wouldn't have space enough here, right? So for this experience, I need to bring a slower energy. And if I really start, I can't, let go so fast that I can't even keep up with it, and you wouldn't know what I'm talking about, right? Like I have to slow it down. And then because my energy moves so quickly, I'm very impulsive, right? Very impulsive. Like, I'm gonna go do that, and then this, and then I say yes to this thing, and then I don't have any space for myself, and I can't get those things done that I need to do. So learning to slow my energy down as well, to me, that's boundaries. It's like, okay, boundaries contain space. So if I have these energy resources, I have this much time, I need to get these things done. Do I now have time to go and do that? No, sorry. And then being able to say no, then the boundaries with other people come in play as well. Because like, okay, this person really wants me to go out on this dance thing with them. I would really want to go, but do I need to go? I want to go, but do I need to go? No, I have to get these things done for me, or I need to rest. I really want to, but my energy resources aren't, right? Knowing yourself, and then being able to say no to people. I'm not following your priority. I can see you really want me to go, but I choose for myself.
Yeah. And really knowing what's good for me, what nourishes me, what do I need? Because it's so easy to get drawn into, the FOMO as well.
Oh, the FOMO. Oh, the FOMO.
Oh, I want to go to this. And then afterwards it's like, oh God, I wish I hadn't. Yeah, the FOMO.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, like you said to me the other week, it's like I was so hyper that those 2 weeks. I can't remember what was going on. I was like doing all the things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know that I'm hyper. I can really feel it. And I know that I'm going to crash at some point. And you said, yeah, it's okay. You're going to notice it and you're going to be able to bring yourself back.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And awareness is key to all of this, right? And what I see in you is this awareness, being aware of what's going on, and then sometimes not being aware temporarily, but coming back to that center, which is we're going to get knocked off it again and again and again, right? Our nervous system isn't meant to be calm all the time, but it's how can we bring ourselves back, and how can we have that compassion for ourselves and have the support around us.
Yeah, that's one of the things I really love about you, is your softness towards yourself. Softness, is that the right word? Like this loving, caring presence that you seem to, for majority of the time, have for yourself, right? And just the way that your flow of your life goes, right? Like there's just a lot of doing really nice things for yourself.
Yeah. And there can almost sometimes be guilt around that. It's like, I have this, I have all this. But because I've got abundant time now, really, because the kids are gone, it's me time. I can do what I like, and that feels really, really, really beautiful and nourishing. And I also think it's probably part of my path. It's like, this is my time now to focus on what feels good for me, and having that time to do it, which is amazing. It really is.
Isn't it interesting that you then feel all of that, what you just said?
Yeah.
But you started it with, and there's guilt.
Yeah, there is a part of, there was a part of me. Actually, there's not so much guilt around that. There is a little bit sometimes if, I think there is like this fear of being lazy, or it's bad to be lazy. I remember my ex said to me, he said, something about having cleaners and stuff like that, but that was lazy. And I was like, actually, I don't feel it's lazy. I just don't like cleaning.
Yeah.
And I can pay someone to do it, so I pay someone to do it. But there's still this undertone that goes on underneath some of this around,
Oh, the undertone.
the undercurrents. Yeah.
Exactly, right? Because that can be so many things. Cultural.
Yeah.
Right? What society says that is right or wrong, and what's in our family systems as well comes from our ancestral, because that's passed on as well, right? Like somebody somewhere a few generations ago had a really strong opinion about it. You might still have that carved into your your belief system.
Yeah.
That's why then awareness is so key, right? Because otherwise there's just all these undercurrents going, and which one do we follow, and what's my opinion today, right?
And questioning our thoughts. I mean, they're bonkers, really, aren't they? No wonder they call it the mental mind. It is mental. Questioning the truth. They're wild. I'm noticing that it actually feels so much safer for me if people can tell me if I'm too much, because then I can just go for it. So I did a breathwork session with a friend on Friday, and I said, for some people I can go for it, I can breathe, I can be a lot, please tell me. And she was like, I might find it a bit difficult. And I said, but I hear that, and it's so much easier for me if you can do that, because then I can go for it. Because if you don't tell me, then I can be monitoring myself and worrying that I'm being too much. And what was interesting during the breath work is that Izzy, my dog, came over to her, so she had to say no to her. I know you've mentioned that as well, how important it is that people can just be honest with you so that you can be yourself.
Yes.
And not have to. What I love about you is that you are very aware of your energy. You say you're a lot, but don't shame it. I'm a lot. That's fine. And that can be too much for people, but not shaming it rather than I'm a lot, oh, there's something wrong with me and I need to fit in. But, you know, allowing yourself to be who you are and then letting other people be in your space and say, actually, it's too much for me right now. Again, doesn't mean that you're too much, but it's too much for me. And that's good. Then that's okay, actually, for me to honor my truth in this moment.
Oh, so much I want to say about
Yeah,
that.
go for it.
Right, because that's it. It's so relaxing to be around people that can tell me what their needs are, because then I don't need to monitor. I don't need to monitor myself. I don't need to constantly be, because I can do that. Read everybody's, like, my antennas are on and I'm reading, like, what does he think of me now and where is it? Is this too much? And sometimes I get it right and sometimes I don't, but
Exactly.
it's exhausting to be constantly feeling others instead of just focusing in my own experience. So for sure, I love our community because it's so much. I can trust people much more than the general public to be able to say that.
Yeah.
And what was the other thing you said? No, I forgot.
No, I said what I love about you is you really acknowledge that you are a lot, but don't make it wrong. You know, you don't shame yourself for it. It's like, yeah, I'm a lot, and that's okay. It's who I am. You know, I embrace it. I love it.
Oh, babe, but you've only known me like
I know,
2 years.
I know.
I don't shame myself anymore.
No.
But oh my God, I held so much on internalized shame. Like, to my bones, I deeply believe that I am too much. The who and what I am is not acceptable. And that came from literally being too much in my childhood to people around me.
Yeah,
they couldn't hold it. They couldn't, and I made that mean that I'm too much instead of understanding their own, you know, sensory sensitivities and all of these things, right? And I just made it mean something about me. But it's so, oh my God, I love that I have let go of that shame.
Yeah.
That was the biggest thing in my whole of my healing journey, and all of that was the shame, and the hardest, because opening up to that space, I literally was in like fetal position on my living room floor for a week. That's how it felt. Might have been 2 hours. When I was opening up to that part of me.
Yeah.
Right? And letting the shame be felt. Oh, because like guilt and pain, and you know, there's often they're transactional, or they're, you know, related to some event or the other, something. But this is shame is, it taints everything.
Yeah, it does.
Right? And it's when it's so internalized, it's really about me. That I'm something to be shameful of. So, and now, since I did that work, which was incredibly hard and painful, the more I can let myself be me and move and show, and you know, with that, now instead of masking energy management, right, of managing my energy so that it doesn't bounce on people when there isn't space for it, but then when there's space, just let it be free. And I love now proving to my parts that, look, it's okay to be me. Because it's met every time I let myself be free and ask for a moment and move freely, and people are like, wow, you're amazing.
Yeah.
You know?
No, it is. It's beautiful to witness. It's beautiful to witness that you know that you need that movement. Like, you needed a break a few minutes ago. We got up and moved around, and just really acknowledging what you need. Because that helps other people as well be aware of what they need and ask for it. We've had conversations around taking up space, you know, because in the consent, when we talk about who's it for when any two people are in action, and whether that's touch or talking or anything, being really clear about who it's for is based on the agreement around it. So if there's no agreement, there's no consent, and ultimately no relationship. And often when one person takes up a lot of space, whether that's through talking or moving or whatever, you know, some people do, it can feel, because I'm normally on the other side, we sort of mirror each other. I'm normally on the other side of feeling overwhelmed by someone taking up that sort of space, especially in terms of talking and taking up space. And I know it goes back to my father taking up all the space and not giving me any. But yeah, how do we help people without shaming them? How do we help? How do we speak our truth and ask for what we want without shaming that person? Because we've talked, you've said as well that, when you are a lot, you feel a lot of shame around it. And then you can loop into that feeling shame and then being more and more and more, which can be difficult for other people to be in. And yeah, I suppose it's finding a way where there's balance within that. It's like, okay, you are too much for me right now, but it doesn't mean that you're too much. And communicating that.
Yeah, and it's a lot about how it is said, right? If
Yeah.
it's said from a loving, soft place instead of blaming and harshness, and,
Yeah.
you know, speaking your truth to somebody who has a lot of shame. First of all, it's not your responsibility
No. No.
right?
Yeah.
Understanding that, but still, in understanding that, we can be, kind.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then I guess it's like you're really good at that. You should be answering this because you're really good at talking to people, telling your truth and then being able to hear it. Right? Because I think what you do so well is the feminine, bringing that feminine energy into it, just speaking how it makes you feel.
Yeah.
Instead of saying you do this and you're like that and you're criticizing them, you're just letting them know that how this space makes me feel.
Yeah. And how would that feel to receive that? I suppose I have a fear sometimes, not always. If I feel safe with the people, obviously this is all about safety. As people I know, I can do it. But someone maybe I don't know, there's some lack of safety there within me. I'm frightened of their reaction. Yeah, there can be this fear of how they're going to react, even if I take responsibility.
Right, because if
But
you
that's
don't,
me.
if you
That's
don't,
on me.
and it makes sense because you don't know if you don't know that person very well. It's you don't know their reaction.
No.
Right, you have no idea. No matter how you would say it perfectly, they might still flip out.
Yeah.
Right, so it's not safe, and that's what we were talking about earlier. It's that those layers and holding those parts, right? Like that's what we need to learn to do, is bring the safety in to those parts that learn to not speak up, learn to not say what my truth is. And when we do that, when there is safety and alignment in our system, then what often happens, it is perceived well as well. Right? Because it comes as a truth.
Yeah, I really feel like when it's coming from a truth, a real integrity, it's received differently. Yeah.
And for me, the practice is, which I still need to put some brakes on this sometimes, often, is do not speak from until I'm in that place.
Yeah.
Until all the triggered parts of that's not right. Why you made me feel this and right? And I can now sense into it. It feels harsh when I'm triggered, and when I'm in the, and I get defensive quite quickly.
Yeah, and want to blame.
Yeah. You did this. And then it's about them. It's not about me. It's about you caused this to me.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like I have a rule, which I don't always manage to follow, is give 48 hours.
Yeah.
Right? Give space for your system to process through how it made you feel, what this person said, or how, right? And there's so many layers, like we were saying, right? There's so many layers. So letting it process through all of them and listening to them. What do they all feel? And then eventually, often, we land into our truth.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, that was actually not that bad. Because the way we feel when we're triggered and when we are regulated is completely different story.
Yeah.
Most of the time, right?
And often, I love your 48 hours. What I find is that the more I do it, the quicker that repair gets. So you may go from needing 48 or maybe even a week, maybe a year. Sometimes you need years to process something, right? And then come back to it. But then it gets quicker and quicker, and you're able to then more or less do it in the moment or quickly after, because there's something not quite right here, but you're not reacting to it.
Right. And what makes that time go shorter is us listening to these parts. To validating their experience. They feel heard, so they don't need to go defend themselves because they're already being heard. Right? They don't need that reactive whatever response is coming from them.
Yeah. Or blame. victim, going to that victim. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm pretty good at that. Poor me. Poor me. It's all your fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, if only.
If only they would change.
Yeah.
Right, which all of that, we give our power away. Right?
Yeah, we do.
We give our power away to something we have no control over.
Yeah.
Right, so it's reclaiming our power.
Yeah.
And then speaking from that power, from that truth.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's soft and sometimes it's not, right? Maybe.
No, sometimes it needs to be.
It needs to be a boundary put in place. But then it comes from a place of integrity. It comes from a place of truth. So then when I have given myself that time, be it 48 hours or an hour or a minute, to process through it all, and then when whatever I say, I can stand behind it.
Yeah.
So if they then have a reaction to it, I am all right, or most likely I'm all right with it, than if I react. And I'm like, oh, then shame comes, and that part shames this part, and why did I say that? And I said it this way, and then we can't just no, this was my truth. If you feel something about it, then I'm happy to discuss this with you, but it's theirs.
Yeah.
And the boundary is in place. I take responsibility of me, and I allow you to take responsibility of yourself.
Yeah, this is huge. This taking full responsibility for ourselves and letting others take full responsibility for, because we've learned, many of us, through our childhood experience, to take responsibility, or we've took on responsibility for other people's.
Oh, we were blamed and scapegoated, and, and it was put on us that it was our fault, right? Like, there was no boundaries.
Yeah.
There was no... Yeah.
Oh, I could talk forever with you. I love you so much. Thank you for sharing with me today, sweetheart.
Love you too. And we do talk forever. Just without the mic.
Just without the microphone, yeah. Oh, thanks, love.